What proposal?
Your budget proposal.
Well, first of all, if we're talking about debt limit and we're talking about budget, there's two different things. Just so everybody knows, a budget resolution doesn't even go to the president, and a budget resolution doesn't raise the debt limit. So,
If I may clarify.
well, if I would call them savings, because if you just added $6 trillion, and if you increase discretionary spending by 30%, and you created inflation in America, the only way to stop that is to be able to curve it. I've given the president many ideas. How can you limit? How can you save? And how can you grow? Well, how would you limit? Well, we've got billions of dollars sitting out there that have been dormant for more than 2 years that people have not spent. So why don't you save the taxpayer money and pull that back? We've got abilities that how can we help the supply chain? How can we help people get back to work, give them the training they need and others? Well, you can put work requirements for able-bodied people with no dependents. That means if they're going to school, if they're looking for a job, they're fine. But we can help the supply chain work back. We can grow the economy. How would we grow the economy? H.R. 1 is one of those abilities to do that. So there's a lot of ideas out there. We have more than $4 trillion in savings. We can limit the amount of growth as we go in the future. The real difficulty here is if you simply check the facts. If the president would read what the Congressional Budget Office, the nonpartisan individual, said, if you take the 50-year average of spending in America, that's roughly 21% of GDP. But under President Biden, he's spending more than 23.7% of the GDP on the way to 25%. If you look at revenues, because the president's only answer is to raise more taxes, on average in 50 years, we usually bring in about 17% of GDP. Today, we're at 20. Only two other times in modern history in America have we ever brought in this much money on a percentage, but we're bringing more money than ever before. The problem was when the Democrats had all majority, they spent like drunken sailors. They created inflation. Then he went after the energy industry and even made it worse. So what we need to do is sit down like any household would happen and find places that we can eliminate waste, the fraud, but more importantly, create a system that makes the energy in America stronger, lower price, but make our economy even better.
Has the conference come to an agreement on that?
The conference is very close, and if the president doesn't act, we will.